The filter-free diary. Uh,
Good morning. Yeah, my hair's drying. It was sponge bath morning. Why? Because I got my period and there's no way I'm going to start my period feeling gross. So, yes, let's clean and then we'll get super gross. And then we'll clean again and we'll be good in like 3 days. Okay. So, yeah, my hair's drying. It's still wet and I just don't like the feel of wet hair. But I also don't particularly care for the feel of dry hair. And guess what I'm really saying is I don't like hair. Okay, so can you hear that? That's church bells. Why? Because it is 8 o'clock now. And yeah, I woke up at like 6 or so and I was like, man, what the fuck? I feel like I just had my period. I feel like I just had my period and I have my period again. And it's not like I can complain and be like, no, you're early. You don't get to show up for another 2 days. That just never works. So this just is what it is. And this is... Okay, so interestingly enough, a thing came together for me and I totally understand it and it kind of wowed me in its simplistic nature. Like, have you ever seen a design that's so simple but so impressively amazing that you're like, wow, simple things can be amazing things. And yeah, simple things can be amazing things. Like there's this thing called a floating table where they just happen to hook up the top and the bottom just right. That tension keeps it floating and it's so simple. It's so fucking amazing. Yeah, and the other table that has a mirror in it, like a double mirror. So when you look down into it, you see down into infinity. So simple and so amazing. I don't know. Maybe I have a thing for tables. It happens to be the thing Spirit keeps showing me. Like, what about this? This is simple and amazing. What about this? Yes, those are all very simple and amazing. And interestingly enough, Revelations is simple and amazing. And it's going to take me a minute to explain this to you, but I hope I could do it some justice. Okay, so at one point I mentioned to you that there are like 2 different types of languages. There's the way that like minds talk, right? Which is, hi, how are you? I'm good. How are you? You know, back and forth, you know, and honestly, just a whole lot of rambling. But sometimes there's like legit data exchange. You know, you talk about the news, you talk about what you saw. I don't think talking about the weather is really a legit data exchange. Anyways, so there's like the way minds communicate, right? Which is like, you know, back and forth, chit chatter, you know, basic information, you know, everything is very, that is a duck, right? It feels warm out. Everything is very subjective, right? But they're all kind of the same, so they can all kind of share that subjectivity, right? Sometimes when you get culture, you know, that shit definitely breaks up. But when it comes to Spirit doesn't talk like that. Spirit has never actually asked me how I am, now that I think about it. And thank God, that is like the most annoying question. Spirit doesn't talk like that at all. In fact, Spirit doesn't even give straight answers. You can't be like, oh, fuck. And sometimes you could be like, what was the name of that town? And it could be like Eindhoven. Yes, sometimes that could be a thing. But only recently. And like in the past, it'd be like fish. You're like, what? Fish? Why are you talking about fish? And then at some point you realize as you walk through Eindhoven, there's this whole underground city where there's a whole bunch of fish. And you're like, oh, fish. Yeah, Eindhoven is the fish. Okay. Like, how is that helpful? But then at some point you find something really amazing happens in the area where there's the fish. And you're like, oh shit, look at that fucking triangle. It all came together. That's how Spirit usually talks. Yes. It gives you the after before, and then it gives you the before after, so that you know it knows what it's talking about, because it can give you the pieces in any order that it actually wants to, because it knows all the pieces. It's not trying to put them together as it is communicating, right? It doesn't speak linear like a mind. It speaks like right? Does that make any sense at all? And the thing is, that's the way Revelations is written. And not only is it written in that scatter pattern, but it's also written in the reflection language. Because not for nothing, everything on this planet that you can see is a form. But a bird represents a 3, as where a goat represents a 2, as where a lion represents a 1. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a code, there's a pattern to all of it. And when spirit, is like, I am the lion, it wants you to believe that it is a strong protector and provider. And when spirit's like, I am the rock, it wants you to believe it's solid and you can trust it and you can build on it. And when it picks the reflection, it's saying something specific. And because of the creativity of the mind, we have moved so far away from the left that everything written in the left is a complete mystery to us now. And that's the coolness that is Revelation. It was written in the common tongue back in the day, and we shifted away, and now we can't shift back, and now we don't understand it. Have a good morning.